We'd like you to join us, and perhaps with the greatest song ever written about our home, to the father of American folk music, Pete Seeger, his grandson, Tyler. Lead us, Pete.
You sing it with us. We'll give you the words. When I was walking that ribbon of highway,
as I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me, and in the skyway, I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me.
everybody sing it.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and I rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond desert. And all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me.
Everybody.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me.
In the squares of the city,
Squares of the city,
by the shadow of the steeple,
shadow of the steeple,
by the relief office, I saw my people as they stood there hungry.
they stood home.
I stood there whistling.
There whistling. This land was made for you and me.
A great high wall tried to stop me. Great big sign there. Private property. On the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Yeah, this land was made for you and me.
Nobody living
Nobody
can ever stop me. As I go walking on Freedom Highway. Nobody living can make me turn back. Hey, this land.
This land was made for you and me. Everybody, this land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream water. This land was made for you and me.
Oh my God. You know something, Whimsy, you could sing the hell out of that song. I wish you would have done it this week, but it was great to see Pete Seeger.
Yes, it was interesting as we were preparing to finish up this last week of early voting. Hopefully, all of you have had a chance to get your
Hmm.
vote in. I kept thinking of that beautiful patriotic song, sung by Pete Seeger. I think it was in 2012, the inauguration of
Yeah.
Barack Obama, our 45th president, of course. And what a greater way for us to hail in this week. It's crunch
Yes.
to get out the vote and lift ourselves up like we did in 2012.
Well, as I was sitting here listening to that, I thought the song has special poignancy right now this week. I found myself getting very moved listening to it. I'm of the generation, you too, where we used to sing that in grade school. I remember that quite well. And I think someone was even pointing out that it's not sung so much anymore. It's good to bring it out, revive it.
Yeah, and oh, it looks like we have a troll. Oh, I will. How do we get rid of them?
I don't know. Where do you see that?
Harassment.
There's a troll. I had the same problem yesterday. I I was very lucky. One of my administrators took care of it for me while I was on air. But
Uh-huh.
I was, I do a live stream on Mondays of my own, much, much smaller than this one, of course, but where I just talk about Hollywood stuff and all. But I was talking about my Kamala Harris portrait, my
Which
support for
is
her.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And I was talking about the volunteer work I've been doing for the Democratic Party. You know, I tend to avoid getting into politics on my own thing. I try to keep it very neutral, but this is a rare time for me because I am so impassioned about this. And about halfway into the show, I got my first ever troll. Someone just writing nasty, nasty comments. And thankfully, Pam, one of my administrators, was watching and she caught it and she went and she blocked the a-hole and got rid of his comments. But it was a little disturbing.
Sure, I can imagine.
To fight for
Yeah.
an America
Oops.
where no mother
Gotta-
or father
Got too
has
much
to
stuff.
teach their young son that people may stop him, arrest him, chase him, or kill him because of his race. An America where every parent can send their children to school without being haunted by the horror of yet another killing spree. Where we treat attacks on voting rights and civil rights and women's rights and immigrant rights as attacks on our country itself. An America where we welcome refugees and bring people out of the shadows and provide a pathway to citizenship. An America where our daughters and our sisters and our mothers and our grandmothers are respected where they live and where they work.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was the piece you did. And of course, oh, wow. Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm not going to have it too much longer because we're in the final hour and a half, 2 hours of the eBay auction, and there are a couple of bids on. What's it up to right now? Oh, it's not saying.
It's not saying you started at 250. There
Well,
are things
I
coming
set
in,
I
and it's
set a
going to be a historical. This will become an historical piece. This piece
oh,
will go on in history.
thank you very much.
Well, I
I
have no
s-
doubt. I have no doubt.
yeah, I set a minimum on it, and so apparently it's met the minimum, and it just says two bids. I personally am not on eBay. I purposely avoid it to keep out of trouble and temptation. But I'm going to find out later how it did. But I am just so proud to raise money for a cause I believe so passionately in, and to do so with my artwork. And that's why I say I won't have this too much longer because I'm probably going to be shipping it out tomorrow. But this is it, hand drawn, hand painted, as you saw from the video. And my dear friend Pam, the administrator I spoke about, who saved me yesterday from the troller, she's the one who took my video and did that wonderful creation. We overlapped it. And we have 8 of those with different sound bites from Kamala Harris's speeches. And I also have a full 45-minute version of me talking about my artistic process and how I created the painting. And all of that is on Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. Where it can
Well,
be seen.
a lot going on. And of
A
course,
lot.
I'm sure you got a chance to, and then the link is there if people want to bid. eBay, there's room to bid on that piece. I wanted to also announce, what do you think of the new book? We've got a great new book, True Nature of Energy, Transforming Anxiety into Tranquility. Great book. We're going to have the author, Diane Wing, in our studios Tuesday, November 19th at 6 p.m. I'm very excited about this book.
I am too.
Enjoying it?
I've just started it, but yes, I am enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fabulous. I look forward to talking to the author already, as I always do. But I knew this was going to be a subject that was going to matter a lot to me personally.
You know what? I was just glancing through this and I was thinking to myself as I was reading about energy and the flow of energy and how we can be traumatized by old memories. She's got a lot of stuff in here, but it made me think about the fact that if you have ADD, and the reason you're reading this book is so that you can be focused with your energy, will you be able to finish the dang book? I was going through this and I was thinking, I got to take care of my cat. I got to do the laundry. And I was like, the reason I picked this book was so that I could control my energy. So maybe she can help us with that.
Oh yeah. I admit to my own ADHD. It's very typical of artists, creative people. It tends to go with us who are very right-brained, creative people. And so I just have to accept that is part of who makes me who I am. But, there's good and bad to everything. But yes, this book should be helpful.
Well, who all is here, Chuck? Do you see any new faces?
Who do we have here? Let me see. We have Janet, we have Cindy, Kay,
okay, all right.
Gigi, Rose, Deborah.
Like abracadabra? Like an abra?
I see here the Oracle of Whimsy. Well, obviously, Oracle of Whimsy is here. Rose,
100%.
Sandy, Kay, Helen. Our wonderful Joel Tilson, of course, is here.
He
Connie.
And he keeps us off the streets. And look what we have here, Chuck.
What do we have here?
Look at all these new members. We have Sue.
Excellent.
This is all just from this week. Isn't that nice? Sil,
Patty,
and Philip, Cy, SM, Hell Olson, Best Predictions, Windhorse, Mid-Century. If I have not had a chance to thank you, I know people get hurt if I don't get a chance to say their name, Joanne Fleming, and everybody else that's listed here today. Know that if we skip you or we don't always say your name because we're like lost in our own world,
yes,
it doesn't mean that this doesn't just tickle our fancies.
Yes,
we can sit here and entertain you all, and that you love and care about us enough that you keep our bellies fed and the doors open for us to do this fun, cool stuff.
I can even buy cat food and cat litter for Sasha.
That's right. That's right. And it's all because people are supporting our work. So I think
wonderful people here.
Awesome.
I love a comment here from Janet Lee. I smelled bread baking and forgot it's baking. Now I have to remember to pull it out when it's done. I wish I had some fresh baked bread here.
Is there anything more delicious in the world than fresh baked bread?
My God. My late grandmother, who was a typical farm granny, she baked her own bread for something like 60 years, churned her own butter, baked her own bread. And I used to take that for granted when I was a kid. Now, what I wouldn't give to have that again.
Oh, yes. I remember the way that stuff would taste. It was unbelievably delicious. Well, let's go right into it. We should probably... I'm wondering if we should have done the empath's prayer before we showed this. I don't know.
Whatever you think.
What? You're fucked, dude.
I'm fucked. If we lose, I'm fucked.
It does seem that way. You can't just be like,
Yeah, I'm like, how long do you think my prison sentence is going to be? Do you think? Will I see my children? I don't know.
Because it's not like you can say, well, yeah, I maxed out to him, but, I get...
I have no plausible deniability.
No, and I've been trashing Kamala nonstop.
Oh, I know.
Well,
You want to talk
he's
about
a little too jovial, don't you think? Because I tend to agree with him. I think he will be F//KED if Trump doesn't win. And oh God, even saying those words. Trump winning.
You know
Oh,
what's
no.
interesting
Oh,
is he's the most requested person other than Diddy that is not a politician that we get questions about. And I think the
yeah.
real question that people have is, will he be prosecuted? Because he seems to think that, either he is joking or he's right, that he's done enough that he would face prosecution. And I think
Yeah.
that it's either a joke or it's not. So either way, it's not good.
Either way, but I mean, just alone, that stunt he's been doing every day. Is it every day he gives away $1 million to
I
someone
think,
who pledges to vote for Trump? And
yeah,
that's a violation of federal voting laws right there. It seems like
yeah.
he could go to prison
So
for that.
I think we're going to go ahead and do the empath's prayer, and then we're just going to roll with the punches. Just be gentle with us, and we'll try to get to as many questions. I think that this, though, is the big story, that and the Puerto Rican comments. But I think we'll start with this. Let's go ahead. If anybody has a healing or anybody you love and care about that needs to receive a healing at this time, please mention their name so that we as a community can pray for that individual or those persons to receive a healing.
Yeah. Just moving my drawing here because I don't want to damage it. Since it's going to somebody. That's all I need is to spill coffee on it or something. Did you know I was an art major in college. I once had a professor spill a cup of coffee on one of my art pieces. He of course had to give me an A. He had no choice, but I was like, you destroyed my art.
Oh, you could have just looked at him and said, "It's probably an improvement. Thank you for the day." Right.
I think I was too mortified. Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Let's do the impasse.
Okay.
Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And for those people who are requesting a healing at this time, both for themselves and those they love, we pray that they receive a perfect healing in body, mind, and spirit. And together, collectively, again, we say, Amen. May all be healed. May all souls be healed. Well, I don't even know how to conquer this because we've got like half a dozen questions. I think the real question that people want to know is, will Elon Musk serve prison time? Will Elon Musk serve prison time? How are you feeling about it?
Well, I agree. If
It's going to get away with it.
Kamala wins, I think he's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. That's just my opinion. That's a hunch. I haven't tested it. Pendulum. What do you want to throw cards on this? You want me to ask?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do cards. Let's go ahead and do
Okay, should I just ask the question, will Elon Musk go to prison? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
That went to no. But that's based on the energy right now. You know, that can shift. But let me pull a card here. Oh, this is interesting. I got physical body and restriction. The hit I'm getting from that, could it be like ankle bracelet, home confinement, something like that? Restriction rather than jail.
Yeah, it's interesting because I had the high priestess coming in, so something hidden, something that he's trying to cover up is
Uh huh.
perhaps the fact that he was selling his security clearance to the people he owed money to. This is where my head went when I went trans work. And then
Yeah.
you also have this judge coming in. So that would lead me to think that something's going to be revealed. A judge is going to come. And then we have the
Yeah.
Three of Pentacles, which I read as evidence in a court case. We've talked about that, where Three of Pentacles is to build a foundation, a blueprint. If you're talking about somebody being charged in a crime, then we would say that it's somebody wherein they're actually building the case like a blueprint against the other individual. So again, the cards for the high priestess unveils something, goes before the judge, the evidence presented, and the final outcome goes back to what you're saying, which is Two of Swords, which is that this is an individual who will not cooperate with court summons, which is interesting because he fled when the SEC tried to stop with him and said he couldn't be there, and he literally skipped out and ran off to Florida to avoid
Yeah.
speaking to them.
Well, as Rose Blue just pointed out, could he be deported to South Africa, or is he has too much power, too much influence for that to happen?
I see cooperation and I don't see imprisonment. Like this
Yeah.
is unveiling poverty issues, being locked out of the church. They could squeeze him out, which is that if you are not more forthcoming with who you do business with, if you have a government contract with us and you are a company that also has contracts in China and Russia, then that's when problems set in when we start hiring private companies to do intelligence work for the United States. Are
Yeah.
those companies compromised? Because we have given all these former government jobs to private companies, and that in and of itself became a security risk. And then you have here over the judge defending of a case or defending the land. Seven of Wands would
Yeah.
indicate that whatever he did was a feeling that it was in violation perhaps of the laws of the land.
Yeah.
So maybe he gets charged for attempting to steal the election. And
Yeah.
then this wooing over the evidence against him and a page
Yeah.
of pentacles maybe could indicate something going on financially with him.
Something. Yeah. It's interesting about the restriction card because you'll see it even shows a padlock and a chain over the person, over their head. Something, some sort of penalty, something. He's not going to get away with this.
Basically, they're saying that he will likely attempt to evade questioning, and then he will no longer be able to evade questioning, and then at that point, he will face criminal charges and likely do prison time.
Hmm.
The situation, locked out of the church, Eight of Wands, strife comes to him, foolish behavior, defending the land, the judge. And then this gets to be really scary. Over this case of the evidence, an inverted Knight of Swords. That's berserk. That's cray cray land. That's somebody who's truly lost their marbles. And then here's the interesting
Oh.
thing. He refused to cooperate, a Two of Swords, over the investigation. Page of Pentacles, which would be a gift coming from the heavens coin. It could be evidence, probably possibly financial, something financial, or he might be financially fined. But the final outcome, the clarification is Nine of Wands. He will be incarcerated. This guy's going to be charged and face actual. He's not going to be as lucky as Trump. This guy could go to prison. Good. If he broke the law, he should go to prison.
Yeah. 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 He's banking on Trump winning to put through his plan, like what we were talking about last week about his plans to have armies of robots, artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
his robotic cars. He wants Trump to blow up the Constitution and change the laws to give him free reign to do whatever he wants. And how many billion, is it known how many billions of dollars he has invested in Trump? How much money he's given?
Um, I don't know, but with these injunctions and with this stuff that's been going on, it's highly unlikely that he's going to be able to get away with it. And the fact that those are cards that denote someone that was evading the law. Two
Mhm.
of Swords is to not cooperate. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, la 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 la. It's not going to
Yeah.
get very far
Well,
because
I'm also,
he's going to jail.
I'm even thinking the irony of a president who was a former criminal prosecutor. Who better to go after him than Kamala Harris?
Yeah, but she really can't have an enemies list. It's more that it's Merrick Garland's job. You know what I'm saying? And he's been really slow to prosecute Trump, which is part of how we wound up in this situation.
Yeah. What do you think that is behind that? Why he has been so slow?
Um, I don't know, but it's definitely really disturbing. The whole thing is
Mhm.
deeply disturbing.
Yeah.
All right, now off to Russia. It looks like Russia has attacked Chechnya. Like, do they even have enough military to be attacking Chechnya?
Probably not. Probably not. From indications seem to be they're running out of money. They're running out of resources. The morale is low amongst the troops. There's bewilderment amongst the troops. The armies. I don't think they would.
Mhm. All right, so let's see about what's going on. The consequences of Russia attempting to take Chechnya. If you're getting any cards on that.
Um, for whatever these words I'm trying to figure out, but I got the first of all truth. Truth is coming up. Survival very much at the forefront. A need for obvious balance here, and business. Like there's a lot going on underneath, behind the scenes, finances, negotiating, balancing, but ultimately it's about survival. But the truth is coming up about what's going on. It can't be hidden much longer. That's all I'm getting here.
Mhm.
What do you have?
Yeah, so what I have is that the West gets lucky and then we have good stars. I feel like this is going to invigorate NATO. We have to go in with peacekeeping troops. I always keep seeing NATO going in, hopes and fears that locking the people in, and then it becomes an ethical issue. The Hierophant stands before us. So at this point, are we going to sit back and just watch him invade one sovereign nation after another because we don't want to get involved? We can see here in the next couple of weeks, the Knight of Swords comes in. That could be movement by the West. They may be thinking that we're not going to do anything because it's an election, but
Yeah,
are they wrong? They will flee the area like a thief. I
yeah,
think we're going to get a huge retaliation with the Knight of Swords. I think the West is coming in, and
yeah.
I see them retreating with the Seven of Swords.
Yeah, but you get the feeling they are maybe counting or banking on the fact that this is an election period, so we are too focused on this and too distracted, and but they're obviously
Yeah, I
underestimating.
think so. I think that's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
All right. We have a lot of questions about Musk that we didn't get to. People wanted to know, do you think he will be deported to South Africa? Just do one card.
Well, I reached for one card and I had two come out at the same time. I
Okay.
got shame and despair. Shame and despair. That leads me to believe there's going to be some sort of serious repercussion, whether
Yes,
this means being deported to South Africa, but something that is going to disgrace him,
he's
shame
going
him,
to.
going to prison. So now, Whimsy, do you think that would be prison here in America or would he be imprisoned in South Africa?
Well, I don't know if he's facing charges in South
That's
Africa.
true. He's not. I don't think he is. Yeah.
Those cards, Nine of Wands, is an imprisonment card. So
Yeah.
I would say, oh my God, he's in trouble. I would say,
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to go to jail, but lately, just today, twice, his fate, the card that fell with his fate is the Nine of Wands. I just pulled one fate card. It came again, Nine of Wands. This guy is probably going to prison.
Yeah. Doesn't it
So
seem to
whatever
you
he
like,
did,
yeah. Doesn't it seem to you like all of the people who are associated with Trump, the MAGA Republicans, even those people at that rally Sunday night. It's like they're all imploding. They're all going down. It's like massive karma of some kind, for want of a better way to describe it.
Yeah. So we have another question about Musk. Do you think he'll be indicted for the Bitcoin fraud? I would think so.
Yeah.
Things happening very quickly.
Bitcoin fraud.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a weak, a yes, but a weak yes. Like maybe it's too soon to determine, but it is leaning toward yes. I don't know if there's a card here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I got a couple of cards here that it's, the term, the jig is up. I got here suffering and exhaustion. It's like it's all coming down. It's too much. It's almost like these could apply to Trump himself. It's like Trump is holding up a mirror to people like Elon Musk. They're all facing their karma right now. But I pulled this for Elon Musk. I got suffering and exhaustion. Like he can't keep this up much longer.
Well, yeah, happening very quickly, and then his dealing and his opposition is with the devil. And then what he fears is the Queen of Swords, which is Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
And then look what his final outcome is: the Tower.
Well,
this guy's screwed.
He's screwed.
So, yeah, I think that his entire world is, no man is above the law. You can't just do whatever you want because you want total power. That's crazy.
But, it's like
money to pay an election. What are you, crazy?
Yeah, it's like all of these billionaires who have become so self-righteous and thinking they can just make their own rules, like building their spaceships and their toys and things and trying to control elections. I'm thinking like what we've been saying about Hollywood coming down. It's almost like these billionaires may be facing their karma also. Abuse of power. It's like the universe is not going to support that much longer.
Right. And there's a lot of shenanigans going on. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news about everything that's going on with the latest shenanigans. Right here where I live, it looks like
yes, that's terrible.
Crazy. Have you seen this?
I did.
Police are taking notice. I can tell you from personal experience, officers are monitoring this particular drop box here. What am I doing here rolling in at 11 p.m.? That's what they wanted to know. We explained everything, and of course it's okay, but it is serious. And starting later this week, another group is going to be monitoring all 22 drop boxes in Clark County, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw in Portland. I immediately thought of you.
Yeah, so we're talking about hundreds of ballots being burned, and it looks like there was an incinerated. Yeah, an incinerator.
They were burned up.
Get myself nice and comfy.
Did they estimate how many ballots were lost? I think I heard in the hundreds, but could it have been a bigger number?
One it only had 8 in it, but one it had hundreds. But evidently, people are going to be notified that that this happened to them, and so
I saw in the news that people already are going in to recast their votes. People who knew their ballots were in that box.
Yeah, but what an inconvenience for the people that had to go through that.
Certainly
And
it is.
what do you think about the surprise that Donald Trump do you want to tell our audience what this is about?
The surprise? Which surprise? But are you referring to the rally on Sunday night, or do you mean his quote unquote secret, or which surprise?
Okay, let's.
And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
Yeah. Well, obviously, isn't it being speculated? He's hoping that Mike Johnson will refuse to certify the election, or he's going to reenact the same shenanigans he did in 2020, because his rally Sunday night was clearly designed to inflame and incite his supporters into violence. So I don't know if that's what he means by his secret. Like there's going to be a massive overthrow of violence.
You're from Virginia. What do you
Yep.
think? Do you think that this moves the needle?
I very much want to believe it moves the needle, but it seems like Trump supporters, up until now, nothing will change their minds. I come from a little town in Virginia, and I'm Facebook friends with a lot of these people, and I have to just bite my tongue and hold my hands away from typing responses to all these people who support Trump. And just nothing will change their minds. So I don't know if this is going to make the difference or not. I think you predicted on one of your shows that close to the election, Trump was going to reveal things that nobody could turn away from, that it was finally going to wake up people to say, oh no, I can't vote for this man. So I'm hoping that's the case.
What the energy looks like, I'm not an astrologer, so I know the astrologers have far more about this, but I can tell you as a remote viewer, it looks like everything that was hidden under the rug is being ripped open and seen, which is why I said watch Hollywood. Hollywood's going to be finished in another 5 to 10 years. I remember predicting that 5 years ago, that you're going to see the death of Hollywood, because it's all going to come out. Everything's coming out. And people just don't want to promote a business like that. They'd rather watch cat videos on YouTube that their friends are producing.
Yeah, it's very much the television. Well, I used to say the television generation. Now it's the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram generation. People just want quick little sound bites, and it seems like people are getting more shallow. They're not reading. They're not really following the news. I mean, just based on what I see from the Trump supporters I encounter, it's like nothing will penetrate through them. And anybody who saw that rally Sunday night, I mean, that disgusted me. I said to you before the show, I think that's one of the most horrific things I have seen in modern American history. You know about, of course, the 1939 Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden. It's like Trump was purposely trying to recreate that. That if you know about the Nazi rally in 1939, they had a picture of George Washington on stage surrounded by swastikas, and it was attended by about, I think, 18,000 people.
Well, I'm glad it blew up in their faces. Somebody said that Garland is a member of the Heritage Foundation. I don't think so, because Garland is Jewish, and I think the Heritage Foundation is a evangelical Catholic organization. Garland is left of center, was raised, I believe, Reformed Jewish. His parents or grandparents are Holocaust survivors. So I would call BS on him being a Heritage Foundation. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
But you were asking about the big secret, and I was kind of half joking, not joking, like which one, but I think the plan seems to be Trump wants to create enough chaos.
He wants to, they're not going to certify the president. So,
not certify, and it'll have to go to the House of Representatives. And if Republicans have more control of states, it could go to him, even if he loses disastrously in the popular vote. Because it's been pointed out, Trump does not seem to be actively courting legitimate votes. This seems to be his plan. Something like this.
I felt as Trump, I said to people like, damn, I want to quit, because when I became Donald Trump as a remote viewer, I kept saying, they threw me a curveball. They threw me a curveball. I was not ready to debate Kamala Harris. I felt like I knew how to debate Biden, but Sleepy Joe, I had all my jokes. I was like a performer that didn't have any material. So for me, as Donald Trump, it was horrible. It's almost as if quitting is the best thing he can do for his numbers, because every time he shows up for an interview, they fall apart.
Well, I think his people for the last 3 or 4 weeks have been keeping him largely hidden, or when he does come out, it's to media-friendly outlets like Fox News, What was that podcast? Was it Joe Rogan? The podcast he did?
Yeah.
Outlets like that. Yeah. But no, they're because the Democrats for the longest time have had the joke, Operation Let Him Speak. Just let Trump talk and he'll undo himself. So they're trying to shield him from all of his crazy comments and his behavior, like playing his playlist of music and for 35 minutes at a rally.
Yeah, that was a little strange. And
Yeah.
so I guess the question is that people want to know is, will they succeed in their little plan of
Mm,
taking it from
well,
Kamala?
let's see. It's a little bit of a broad question, but to succeed because I need to be specific, to succeed with the plan of it, throwing it through chaos, and it has to go to
Yeah.
the House of Representatives. Okay. Will that happen to the House of Representatives? Okay. No. I get a no on that. I get a no. What are you getting, Whimsy? That
Night of
went pretty quick to no. I should have held this up.
opposition moves quickly. Old school Republicans are disgusted by their behavior.
Yeah.
I hear myself saying, let's move on. Your behavior is embarrassing to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Knight of Swords would indicate possible police unrest, fighting as well, people feeling like it's not fair. Like, I feel like she's going to win and they're going to feel like that the election was stolen. And there could be some activity, but not as much as people had thought.
I think Trump is so ridiculously predictable. Of course, he's going to say that the election was stolen from him. I'm almost certain of that. So hopefully we're going to be a little on top of that, be prepared, like with our police forces, the National Guard, whatever it takes. Kamala Harris, who said when she was interviewed by Oprah in that podcast, what was it, a podcast she did with Oprah? And she said that I already have my lawyers looking into it. We're already anticipating this happening and we're preparing in advance. But knowing how insane and crazy and mean some of his supporters are, it would not surprise me if a lot of vigilante activity does take place from them. It could get pretty ugly.
Here's a question from Intuitive Kathy. Any feelings about Steve Bannon being released from jail today?
In what respect? What are we asking? Oh,
let's see. General Cars, is he going to make trouble? I would think he would be horribly traumatized after jail and want to hide under a rock. I know. I would need to get arrested again.
You would think that. My feeling is a lot of people just don't take the man seriously. He's been muted. He's lost a lot of his bite, his power. But let me just see if anything jumps out here. Well, I kept shuffling here, waiting for something to come out, and the one card that came out in the pile here was loss, despair. I think that ties in with what my hunch was. The man has just lost a lot of his power, a lot of his bite. I think he's looked upon as a joke. And as you said, he may be like a broken man after being in prison during that period. But
yeah.
I would throw out, I didn't get to read the article in the news, but I saw some little headline or something where he was promising some sort of MAGA revenge. So I should have looked more into that. I don't know what he meant by that.
Well, I got Two of Pentacles, which is questionable behavior with money. So this guy is like a charlatan. Two of Pentacles. That's Juggler of Coins. Where's the P under which shell? It's the jugglers. It's the dancing juggler. The opposition is the Two of Swords. So that may be what you're talking about. A kind of an intolerance, not wanting to have anything to do with this guy.
Yeah.
Fears is the Hanged Man, and they're not done with him because in walks the Queen of Swords. That could be Harris's card, but it also is the woman who brings the sword of justice. And the fact that he had a Two of Pentacles in his seventh house leads me to suspect that he was engaged in previous criminal behavior and is awaiting whether or not he'll be charged for those crimes as well.
Yeah, because he, as Joel was just pointing out, he does have more felony indictments awaiting. And
Oh, I know that, but
Judy
I
Jameson said that he's supposed to do a podcast tonight. I would be intrigued to listen to that.
Well,
I'm
he's
curious.
in trouble. He's in trouble. You can see here Two of Pentacles, the trickster's card, juggling the coin, and in walks the Three of Pentacles. Again, if you're talking about a court case, that would be building a foundation or the blueprint for charges in a case. That's how I read it. The evidence against the individual regarding flim flam or Two of Pentacles behavior, not good. And then you can see here justice is blind to him, Two of Swords, the Knight of Cups. This guy's going to have to cooperate. But
Yeah.
I would say with this type of energy, there's a possibility he's going back to jail. And here he is again, possibly a female judge moving into ninth position. What he hopes
Oh,
is this judge is coming into ninth position. And then the Queen of Swords takes him out with due to the fact that he was a fool. It's bad. This guy's going to wind up back in jail.
mm-hmm. Oh, I think Kamala Harris will be his worst nightmare. And as several have already been pointing out on here, he's been hoping that Trump would pardon him. But even that, I got to say, I question, because Trump is notorious for throwing people under the bus. I
Right.
don't know that he would or not.
Yeah, like why would he? Well, he did help. Didn't he help some of his friends? The only reason he would pardon them is because he doesn't want them to turn state's evidence against him.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem is that they can still be subpoenaed and they still have to subpoenaed.
Subpoenaed.
They still have to answer questions under oath if they're deposed, and if they lie, then they're back in prison. So it's a hell that will never end for them. Just like with Epstein, I wasn't so sure he was murdered because 3 weeks prior to his death, he told us this hell will never end, and I thought, God, I'm suicidal here. And then after that, he was arrested. I think within a week or two of that, and dead within a few weeks after that. So I was suicidal and depressed as Epstein. I felt like I was being hunted. I felt it was hell, and I felt it was a hell that would never end.
Yeah. This is an interesting comment Rose Blue just made. It's a state conviction. Only New York governor can pardon him. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was getting out of anything with those cards, not with the Three of Pentacles.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact that it was over Two of Pentacles, I know that he had stolen money or something, which is why he had gone to prison before, right? He had stolen.
Right, right.
So this looked like possibly another flim flam or con job that they have evidence against him, and then those judges start to show up, and then those like police or the sword of justice and truth, Queen of Swords, comes after his ass. But again, it could be because Harris wins and she starts hiring really competent judges and
Mm-hmm.
positions,
That's what I'm thinking too.
and law and order returns to the United States, which would
Oh,
be
yeah.
great because this has been horrible.
Yeah, because at the heart of Kamala Harris is a prosecutor. She, law is very sacred to her. Law and order, justice. I think that will be a cornerstone of her presidency. I started to say pregnancy? No, presidency. Boy. Buh.
Toey boat.
Yes, toy boy. Yeah. Oh, that was embarrassing. But yeah, it was mentioned here. Joel also mentioned Bannon's build the wall scam. Yeah, there's enough.
Yeah.
There's enough to put him back in jail.
Oh,
And but I would love to hear the podcast if he's indeed on tonight. Just out of morbid curiosity, I'd like to hear what the man has to say.
yeah. All right. So as we're closing out this Taco Tuesday, as many of you know, in a couple of days, it is going to be Halloween. It's the 29th. So I thought it would be nice if we tried to connect with the spirits of those who have departed, whether they're famous Hollywood people or people in the political arena have died. And let's see if we can't do maybe 10 minutes of channeling of people who have passed over to see if they have any opinions at all about the circus we currently
Yeah,
find ourselves in.
yeah,
What do you
because
think about that?
well, when you initially mentioned that to me, because usually I take quiet time to myself to channel. I usually don't do it live like this, but I did do a couple of people beforehand that came to me when I just sat here. I was initially reluctant when you brought up the topic haunted Hollywood, because there's so much dark energy, evil energy, places I just don't want to go. But then I thought, well, why not go for beings that I know are kind, that are good, who might have perspectives on what are going on. So I did have like Mae West, because I have spoken to her from time to
All
time.
right. So the
Um,
first person that we channeled, that when we asked to get an opinion about what's going on in the world, Hollywood, the crazy stuff that's going on with the presidency, Chuck channeled Mae West. Okay,
Mae
so
West.
what did she
Well,
have to
well,
say?
Mae West, she was sometimes when they come, they just give you little sound bites. Anybody who does this type of channeling, and you have to just get beneath the further meaning of that, go into the vibrational meaning of it. But I heard her say a big purge of filth, because I was asking a question: what do you think what's going on in modern day Hollywood with all of these scandals, Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, that type of thing? I heard her say a big purge of filth. And because she was in her day, she was considered kind of naughty. Some called her quote unquote dirty, because of all of her sexual innuendo and everything. But she said, what I did was playful and innocent and harmed no one. That came through. But she said people like Weinstein, I'm looking at my notes here. She said people like Weinstein existed in her era. There were plenty of evil executives, casting couch, abuse of actors. That's always gone on. She was emphasizing, yes, that went on in her era also, which is primarily 1930s Hollywood, a little bit of the 1940s. So she said people like Weinstein existed in her era, but she feels it has proliferated in the ensuing decades. It's far more toxic now. And I heard her say it's finally a feeling of karma coming to head, and it's justice. And I asked her about herself, and this is where a little of her Mae West did come through. She said, oh, I knew how to take care of myself, dearie. I knew how to take care of myself, meaning I was tough. I was strong enough. I was powerful enough. They couldn't hurt me. And that's what I got. But I loved how she said, I knew how to take care of myself, dearie. That was Mae West. And it's true, because
Wow.
she came to Hollywood. She was a star right from her first movie. She was brought out here from Broadway. So she didn't have to go through what a lot of young actresses have to go through: the casting couch, the sexual abuse, climbing those rungs, all the dirty stuff. She was already powerful when she came here, but she knew how to take care of herself. So that's what she told me.
We have a question. We have another question. Channeling people who have passed over to see how they feel about things going on in the political world, in the world of film and TV. This one is coming from Geocosmic Valentine. She's wondering if we could channel Franklin Eleanor Roosevelt, maybe throw some cards and see if there's any message from Franklin Eleanor Roosevelt.
The hit I got from Eleanor is disgust. Disgust. But let me see here. This is something I usually don't do. So if something comes up. Uh, Not feeling Franklin. Eleanor, that just came through immediately. Disgust. Just disgust right now. Again, this is something I normally don't do live like this, but I tried to pull some cards to see what would come up. I got, first of all, this one didn't surprise me at all. Shame and deceit. Shame and deceit. That's pretty much obvious. She's disgusted over that. But she's also feeling like there's going to be, well, I got the cards invention, creation, imagination, meaning there's like new blood, new thinking, more heart, more channeling. It's not going to be easy, but there is going to be a positive upturn through imagination, inventiveness. To me, that describes Kamala Harris.
Hmm.
She's very talented in that respect. So that's as best as I'm getting.
You
What
know,
are
it's
you getting?
interesting. Well, it was almost like she was preparing us to go into battle and fight. The first is we got the Shaolin Master. So that's like to be like a martial artist, to be wise, to be clever, and to be the great fighter, to be like the Shaolin priest. And the other thing is to be clever like a fox.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be clever and we have to fight like the Shaolin priest. We've got the truth on our, keep our truth and our ethics on a high level. Also know that you are the immune system of Gaia. You are here to protect the planet. You are the Earth's protector, the Earth guardian. So basically, if I were to put it in Eleanor Roosevelt's terms, she would basically say that we are called as Americans to be soldiers to
Yeah.
defend, foreign or domestic, like we as Americans have to defend our country and our country is under attack. This would
Yeah.
explain why the Shaolin master comes. We have to be clever in dealing with people like this. They don't have any ethics. They're
Yeah.
morally questionable. And the earth guardian, and to stay rooted means to be very firm, to hold fast, and to hold true to your convictions.
Yeah. That sounds like Eleanor. I didn't know we were going to be doing this, talking to Eleanor Roosevelt. Normally, my process would be to sit with a journal and a pen, get in a meditative state and try to communicate and feel with her and just very slowly see what she would say to me. So I was doing this quickly on the spot, but sometimes they do come through fast. And I was getting the disgust. I think you summed it up better than I did, but I was getting more or less the same thing: imagination, creativity, ingenuity. That's coming back. That's
Mhm.
coming back. And then to me, it feels like Kamala. And I don't even have to guess on this one. I know Eleanor Roosevelt is thrilled about Kamala Harris.
Right.
Thrilled.
All right.
Eleanor should have been president, frankly.
Right.
Times would have been different. Yeah.
All right. So a quick card, if you could pull a card for Ann Richards to
And
see if Ann Richards has a message for us.
ooh.
From I believe she was.
Oh,
Yeah.
I swear to God, I just took the cards, I just started moving them around, and a card, look what jumped out. Victory. Victory. I get the Ann Richards is saying, we got victory coming. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. What
Yes.
do you get,
Hold
Whimsy?
forth.
Victory. Victory.
Water garden, connect with your emotions. That's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. Like, don't lose sight of your heart. Be close to your heart in this process.
Yeah.
Don't lose your heart. We had a
Yeah.
person asking if we could also take a look at what Joan of Arc would say, if she has anything that she would say to people. Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc. I might leave this to you. I don't know if I'm going to get anything. All right, but I'll pull a card. I'll just do the cards. I'm going to see what comes up. Joan of Arc, what do you want to say? Okay, this is something that had come up earlier, but once again, I get truth and balance. The truth is going to come to the surface. It's going to rise, and we're going to start balancing things out. And I also get, balance the scales of justice, the lawyer, the prosecutor, Kamala. That's what I'm getting. What do
Mhm.
you get, Wesley?
You know, I get the same thing I got from the other, which is that she was a soldier. She was a soldier. She fought in wars. The Shaolin priest. Now you go into battle to win. The Shaolin priest, up until the very end, they fight to win. If you hesitate, you lose. You have to strike with determination. You know, again, it's that same energy we got with Eleanor Roosevelt. Strike with
Yeah,
conviction, you know you're going to
yeah,
win. The other thing is be the medicine mother, which I think is very powerful because I think of Eleanor Roosevelt as having that kind of energy of being a healing to the nation. She was a mother to the nation,
very
and
much so.
medicine mother to bring a healing to the nation.
Yeah.
And so that the old can be released, you know, the racism, the craziness that is Trump, that it's the old that we must let go of. Yeah.
Well, I was just having this conversation with someone yesterday who's an intuitive, and I was almost reluctant to say it because it sounds so cliche. Like George Washington, the father of our country. I just kept hearing Kamala Harris, the mother of our country, but a mother in that she's going to be a firm disciplinarian, but she's going to rule with tough love like a mother. We all remember the vice presidential debate. I'm speaking, Mr. Vice President Pence. You remember that? The way everybody said, "Oh my God, my mother used to give me that look, that side eye look." I
Uh-huh.
just get the vibe, and I don't mean it to sound so cliche and corny, but I get the feeling Kamala is going to have a motherly like way of running the country. Very firm, very tough, but it's going to be with that wonderful, intuitive, feminine energy, that love, even though it might be the toughest of love.
Yeah.
I hope
Did
I'm saying that right, but that's just what I'm
well,
feeling.
did you have fun? Did you have fun today?
Oh, I always have fun doing this, Whimsy. I love working on the show. I love all of the people out there. I love the comments.
And how can people reach you if they would like to have a spirit reading with you or if they
Well,
would like to commission a piece of art?
okay. Well, my name is below there, dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. That's the best way to email me. Of course, I have my YouTube channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I do Chuck's Captivating Chat on Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mentioned I had my first ever troller yesterday, a Trump supporter that we had to block, but that's okay. That's okay. That comes with the territory.
And if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find that information below and contact me through Booksy. All right. Well, on that note, be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we'll see you next time. Bye,
Very
everyone.
good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.